In this video, I'll walk you through the basics of using magic patterns, as well as a couple of extra tips and tricks that are really helpful. We're going to be using one example kind of throughout the whole series. So if I flip over to Figma for a moment here, we're going to be building up this dashboard here. But for now, we'll kind of pretend that we don't know about this. We'll just head back over to magic patterns. The first thing in kind of like the naive approach to using any of these AI prototyping tools is to just put in the prompt. So you might say something like, make me a dashboard for an AI agent. And you could also say something like, have a dark background or anything like that that tries to get you closer to whatever you're prompting. Now, obviously, I'm not even going to bother kicking this off because the quality of the result here might not be great in that it's not really going to match what I'm trying to produce. And so, obviously you can give this a go if you want to, but I'm going to skip it for now. What I am going to do is just add in a screenshot because that goes a really long way in terms of getting better results. So we're going to go over to Figma, right click and copy this as an image. And then throw in the screenshot here. Go ahead and kick this off. And we'll chat a little bit more about magic patterns while this is working. So magic patterns is a front-end only AI prototyping tool. What that means is that it does not ever spin up a backend. So very common in other tools like Figma Make, Lovable, Bolt, Replit, they will kind of push you towards spinning up a database or spinning up a server and trying to build out a backend for you. But for most PMs and designers, it's really not necessary to build out a backend, and actually it adds a lot of additional complexity. Right now you have to start managing that code. You can get new errors and that kind of stuff. And so Magic Patterns is a really great tool for focusing only on the prototyping stage and not really focusing on building like an internal tool or something like that. The most common use cases are obviously prototyping on top of an existing product. So you have, something you're working on already at work. You have an existing product. Maybe you bring in a screenshot like this, and then you spin up a new idea on top of that. You can obviously come up with new ideas as well, but it's kind of up to you in terms of how you use it. So we'll give this a second to wrap up, and then we'll take a look at the result. Okay, so our prototype is up and running. It looks great, almost exactly the same as the screenshot that I provided, which is good. And now we can kind of mess around with this a little bit more. So one thing we'll start with in terms of just showing you the tool here is the visual edit. So over on the right-hand side here, you're going to see that there's the ability to select different elements out of the page. So let's say I wanted to select this overview element here. We're going to see we can modify the type of text, the font family, the colors, the layout, and all this good stuff. So actually very similar to like a Figma-esque design tool where maybe I don't want to use the default font family, but instead I want to use DM Sans. So you can see that apply directly right there. In addition to this, anytime that we make a change, Magic Patterns is automatically going to capture a version of that or a history. So you can see in the top right-hand corner that I just applied that change, the text, and now I have a V1 and a V2. And if I flip back to the V1, you'll notice that it flips back, and then I can go back again to the V2. Cool. So that's kind of the basics. One really great feature of Magic Patterns, probably the most popular feature, is the inspiration command. So if you type in /inspiration down here, what you can do is you can basically describe something that you might want, and Magic Patterns will give you back a couple different variants of how that might look. So let's say this is my baseline, and I want to get a couple different ideas on how the errors tab could work here. Okay, so our 4 variants are wrapped up, and we can give them a look. We can see on the first variant here, we have just a simple table that matches kind of the view of our other table here under agents. And then we can flip over to another view here and take a look at this one. So we have some cards that group the errors together. This one includes a timeline of errors. And then finally, we have one that includes a breakdown of the different errors. So it's a great example of kind of testing out different ideas inside of Magic Patterns really easily. That's going to be it for this one. When you're ready, I'll see you in the next one.